Hey, there it is. I don't know what the deal was with that, but we're here. So yeah, there was some weirdness with the stream. It kept selecting the wrong stream that I was trying to go live with. Yeah, it kept selecting the Baldur's Gate stream that I was supposed to do last week, and I ended up not doing. So I don't know what the deal was with that. Um, but we're here. And yeah, today gonna be Seelah and Lann, and if we have time after those two, we will take a look. Well, apparently, all right, and yeah, if we get past Seelah and Lann, and we still have quite a bit of time, which I doubt because I tend to go quite long on these builds that also include the whole mythic build as well. Um, yeah, if we get those two done, we will check out Wendu as well. But let's take a look at Seelah. Kill this as well. All right, looks like we're back. So yeah, let's look at the choices that we are given here. Obviously she has to be lawful good. She does take dodge as her first as one of her first level feats because she is a human, so she gets two. So she gets dodge and shield focus. That is a lot of defense right off the bat. And as I've made quite clear over the past few months now, I think that I've been doing this, I'm not a huge fan of all right, hi. So we're currently streaming off of my phone's internet because okay, are we back? All right, well, that experiment failed dramatically. It looks like we're back. It looks like we're back. So what happened was, my house internet took a shit and died. And so I attempted for a few minutes to stream off of my phone's internet, and that's why everything sounded terrible there, and everything went bad. But it looks like we're back on the home. Well, I know we're back on the home internet, and it looks like it's going to be pretending to be stable for now. By the way, there is one thing that I want to mention. There is one thing that I want to shill just real quick before we get into going into the whole deal. Is I made a thing. I made a thing, and I want to show you guys the thing that I made. So I posted this on Twitter at like 3 a.m. today. I posted in the Discord, but just in case somebody here is not in the Discord, I want everybody to see this. If you have a Twitter, if you could go and you could share this, I want to see if I can get people legitimately angry at egg whites for being racist. Because it's stupid and it's dumb, and I'm pretty sure that there's at least a few people that would actually buy into it. I'm trying to kick the Twitter beehive to see how much stupid falls out of the tree. I'm also mixing metaphors, but you could deal with it. So yeah, I picked a very interesting picture for egg whites. But like, come on, it's fun. Yeah, even I posted a message down here. Even specifies cage free, inferring that only the whites shouldn't be in cages. I just think it's really stupid. Hey, a couple of people. Yay. Yeah, I had actually thought about it because like I work at a grocery store, right? Well, I work at a Walmart, which is like half grocery store, half not. Don't have Twitter. That's perfectly fine. Most healthy people don't. Um, most mentally healthy people. That's why I don't ever. If you looked at my Twitter, the last time I posted was back in February, promising that I was going to post more. And the time before that I posted was back in March of last year. So, yeah. Twitter is a really good place to lose your mental health. Like, let's be real. It's a terrible place. So yeah, I was at work last week and I was in the dairy department, and part of the dairy department. Oh, are we back? The message couldn't be sent. I'm being censored because of my Twitter post. Underflow your mental health. I'm being shadow banned by my own ISP. So yeah, basically I thought of a way to troll stupid people on Twitter, and well, no. So actually, whenever you take things away and then it like rolls back over to a positive, that's called underflowing. It is actually a technical thing. It's actually used in Pokemon speedruns. The red and blue ones, the ones where you can beat the game in under a minute. My ISP doesn't like me in general. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'll be playing Pokemon Red and it'll fucking die. I don't know. It's weird. Words. My brain died. Yay. So yeah. Let's say you guys that we get back to the main course for the evening. Are we ready for more toughness? Oh, I guarantee you it's going to show up at some point, especially with the way that this build has started out. Oh, also there is one other thing. There is one other. Thought the stream died for a second. It's died for a few seconds so far today. Shield focus does allow for shield focus mythic, which I actually really like. I think shield focus mythic is one of the best defensive mythic feats that a person can grab. So of all of the like between armor focus, shield focus, toughness, all of those, I really like shield focus more than the others because of shield focus mythic. Now, here's another thing that I really like about Seelah's build. She has the pickpocket background, which means she gets a fucking +2 typeless initiative bonus. I approve. I approve of the pickpocket. Is she using Divine Weapon Bond or Mount? I will give you one guess. If you give her Dex belt, she can pick up lots of 2-weapon fighting builds. Interesting. Interesting. Feats, yeah. Impossible, Igor. Impossible. Also, so we're getting mobility, knowledge world, and persuasion. I am curious if mobility is going to stop at 3 or if it's going to continue past. I like persuasion. She is a paladin, so she does have, well, actually, let's look at her stats real quick. 18 strength, 13 dex, 14 con, 10 intelligence, 13 wisdom, 15 charisma. Multiple odd numbers. I don't like having that many but a dex of 13 is necessary for some feats, so I'm okay with that. And then I guess the wisdom is just like left over from the dex, and then charisma being a 15, I guess she just didn't have quite enough to get to 16 or something like that. Because she's a paladin and paladins get to scale off of their charisma in so many different ways, I don't mind having like a higher than 14 charisma, because, you know, like conventional wisdom for classes like this is like you don't need any more of your spellcasting stat than you have spell levels, right? Mobility is useful for horse builds. You are absolutely correct. So I would be okay with putting a point into charisma here to get it to 16. Hi, kid. You gonna jump back over? Hi. And I would like for her to do that. Like, that's probably one of the biggest fucking issues that I have consistently throughout all of Owlcat's builds, is how they deal with the ability scores. They just don't give a fuck about wasting ability score by points. They tend to either have a bunch of odd numbers like they do here, 13, 13, 15. So you're not going to be able to get all of, I mean, technically you could if you put like 1 point into dex, 1 point into wisdom, and then 1 point into charisma, and then 2 points into one other stat. But like Owlcat is really, really, really bad about just leaving points on the board when it comes to ability scores, because they'll do either this, or they will have them all be even, where you end up wasting your last ability score increase. 13 dex is exactly enough to qualify. Yeah, I'm not mad about the 13 dex. Let you get dodge, let you start getting 2 weapon fighting stuff, and all that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. It's just both of these two being odd as well. Ah, I stole a kiss. I stole a kiss. He's pouting. He's pouting. Yeah, it's a pattern in Owlcat builds where they're just wasteful with their ability scores, is all. Basically, that's what I'm trying to get at. But anyway, back to this. Persuasion, I like. She's a paladin. She's going to have very good charisma. Maybe not as good as somebody like Darren, but that's just really hard to beat. And if you end up not going with Darren, if you want Social in your party instead, or maybe your main character is a support character and a healer and you don't need Darren, well, hello, we have a very rare occurrence here. We have both kittens in the lap. Hi. 13 int instead of wisdom. That's actually a really good point. Bye, Shelby. Just wanted to have a quick cameo. Actually, that is a really good point. Having 13 intelligence instead of wisdom. Will DC of demons isn't that high. So I'm not really thinking of persuasion in terms of intimidation right now. Because I'm not sure if any auto build goes into intimidation, so I wouldn't build for that specifically. And B, I tend to think more just like the persuasion checks and dialogues. First and foremost. So like if you don't have Darren, I guess even Arushale and Ember, like, well, we could just look right here. Vid cheats. He's a fucking legend. Reggie's got a 25. Ember's got a 32. Darren's got a 34. Yeah, I'm basically what I'm trying to say is I'm okay with her putting points into persuasion. that's the long and short of this. I'm okay with her putting points into persuasion. Knowledge World makes a bit of sense because of her background and her backstory, but I would rather her put something into trickery or stealth. Despite the lack of dex, or potentially putting it into lore nature or lore religion because we have the wisdom. Basically any of them except for knowledge arcana or world because she just doesn't have any extras into intelligence. But what are you gonna do? And then yeah, like I said, mobility is fine. They have penalties for armor usage. That is true, but like the thing about that is you could just take her armor off while you're trying to get those checks done. So that is an option. All right, what do we get? Now we get armor focus. So yeah, she is focusing entirely on defense. This is now level 3. So we are like leaving the shield maze very, very soon, and we have yet to take a single offensive feat. That much I'm not a huge fan of. I don't really like that basically at all. I would like to have something, power attack or weapon focus or literally anything offensive I would like to see. Mercy sickened. There are a couple of people, like there are the dretches in the shield maze that can cast sickening cloud, so having Mercy sickened could be useful for that. Basically anybody that gets hit by a sickening cloud early game is, you know, they're vulnerable. Yeah, and yeah, it is just really, really annoying to get hit by that shit, because, like, well, my people are useless for another 3 turns. Thanks. So getting this is fine. I think if I remember correctly, Unsung and Lore Spire argued really heavily for fatigued, I think. Or maybe I got this backwards, and they were talking about sickened, and I was talking about fatigued. They also show up in Market Square and Greg here. Yeah, they are pretty ubiquitous in Canabras. They are all over the place, for sure. But yeah, I really like Sickened at the beginning, because like these two aren't really that big of a deal. Shaken is far less common at this point in the game. And Fatigued, there's not really that many things that would cause fatigue besides just, you know, traveling on the overworld map. And that isn't that big of a deal because you could just rest and get rid of it. Like there's a lot of ways to get rid of fatigue. So I'm okay. I'm perfectly fine with taking Sickened here. I actually prefer that over the other two. Yeah. Yeah, unless it's like you get to the Market Square and you're fatigued for some reason, then you're kind of not going to get that, but really, we're putting points into charisma. Okay, so we've put 1 point into charisma, which means we're going to be putting them all. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, well, maybe she only puts 1 point into charisma and she puts the rest into strength. No, they're going to put all of them into charisma. I kind of hate this. Gotta be completely honest, I kind of hate that they're putting all of their points into charisma. As I mentioned, I do like having a decent... well, we could hold off on that conversation until level 8. Once we see level 8, if they put it in charisma, that's really, really bad. If they put it in strength, that's actually optimal, I think. But Igor, I think you are putting far too much faith into Owlcat for this. And they are continuing to put points into mobility. Okay, that was another thing that I wanted to check here at level 4. So they did not stop at 3. Who was it that stopped at 3? There was somebody. They stopped at 3 point. I think it was Camellia, yes, last week. Camellia, I think, stopped at 3 points in mobility and put the rest into something. But yeah. Yeah, I had never seen that before. Never seen them stop putting points into a thing. Yeah, it is the Divine Weapon Bond. So we do get weapon focused longsword now at level 5. We finally have an offensive feat. Hooray, we could start doing things. We also get Divine Weapon Bond, which is not unexpected. Divine Weapon Bond limits the complexity of gameplay. It removes an entire character for you to control. And for newer players, that's probably preferable, despite the fact that animal companions are incredibly overpowered in these games. Divine Weapon Bond is also really, really strong, though. So I'm not super upset about having it. I think actually the first time I played through this game, I actually gave her Divine Weapon Bond instead of the horse. So yeah, that's a thing. Diseased. We're now level 6. We have access to 1, 2, 3. We're about to hit level 4 spells, which gets us restoration, which allows us to get rid of diseases. But that does come with a cost. That does come with diamond dust cost, which at this point in the game is still pretty expensive. Because you're also wanting to buy good weapons and, you know, fucking rings and stuff. Like, there's a lot of really good stuff that you're wanting to buy really, really soon, right? Because, like, as soon... Not worth an entire mercy? Yeah, like, this... But here's the question. Is it better than the other choices? Because the only other choice that I'm seeing here that I would say this is worth taking is Fatigued. And that's mainly so that eventually we can get exhausted, because there are some people that do cast, like, waves of exhaustion, and then you're just fucked. Suddenly failed 3 saves in a row on the world map. Oh, gross. Guys, I'm gonna be back in just a second. I'm already out of fucking drinks, and my throat is already getting scratchy. So I'll be back in just a second with more fluids. Alright, I'm back. Paralyzed is one that doesn't come up commonly, but there are like 2 places where Seelah always gets frozen. Most tempted to pick the Mercy just for those occasions. But if Seelah is frozen, can she do the Mercy? Is Confused level 12 only? Level 9. Level 9. But yeah, Diseased. I would say that Diseased is fine here. Swift action on herself to thaw out if frozen. But don't you... Wouldn't you be incapable of making any action if you're paralyzed? Already past the Vescivore Caves? Yeah, you're not going to get Vescivore Caves before you get... Or you're not going to get confused before you do that. Just gotta pray. Just gotta pray that it doesn't happen. But yeah. Out of these 5... I would say either Diseased or Fatigued is the choice here. I would be perfectly fine with either of them. The fact that they picked Diseased, I'm okay with. Because as we've mentioned, there are a few very annoying diseases in this game. And they do show up fairly early as well. If you're inside the cloud either. But, like, you gotta figure Seelah's saves are gonna be very high relative to everybody else. So she's the most likely person, because, like, look at the... Well, these are added to. Right? So if we ignore... So we have a -9. Like, let's just take 9 off. So we no Cloak, no Divine Grace. Oh, wait, no. Divine Grace would be a part of it. So let's take a look here. So we have a 16 in Charisma right now. Right? One-third of Europe, yeah. So we have a 16, so that's a +3. So if we have a 5... Oh, wait, let's... And we do not have a bonus to con. Our con is the exact same as it was. Okay, so 5, 7, 10. So if we ignore the cloak and we drop Divine Grace and down to what it would be if we were not wearing a helmet, we have a +10 to our fort save at this point on Seelah. Yeah, exactly. She has incredibly high saves relative to everybody else around her, because she doubles up on her bonuses because of her charisma. It's like her reflex, you know, her dex is not that great, but she gets that bonus from charisma. Her will save, you know, we do have a +4 on the helmet, so it's still, yeah, will is still at 13. So, you know, you just take a -2 to that. And a -4, so actually a -6. Will save of 11. You know? Like, her saves are really, really high. So she's the most likely person to avoid those statuses. Which allows her to then go around and use her mercies to heal other people. Alright, what'd she get? Ever Ready. I like Ever Ready a lot more now that I realize that this last sentence exists. For the longest time, I only thought that it was you get a bonus on attack and damage equal to your mythic rank. I just kind of fucking, like, truncated this description here at this period. I'd never read, like, I don't know if I just completely forgot. Because Outflank at 7, Igor, you are a very... let's say optimistic person, assuming that an auto build is going to take outflank. But what could she take instead? I do believe it varies. Well, good. Just don't say the opposite, otherwise they die. I learned that from... What was the... Was it just Hook? Was Hook the Robin Williams Peter Pan movie? I will always remember that scene where fucking Tinkerbell is just dying in the attic, and it takes a long time for Robin to start clapping to not kill her. Last Stand, Rupture Restraints. I would take Rupture Restraints over Last Stand if we're arguing between those two, because we got to remember these are for lower difficulties, and Seelah is a tanky bitch. She's not going to go down easy, so I don't think Last Stand is really the issue here. Leading Strike. Leading Strike isn't terrible. Inspirational Leader is a really good choice here because she doesn't really need that many mythic abilities to be really good. So yeah, she is a really good target for Inspirational Leader for sure. Yeah, so like Leading Strike is decent. Yeah, it's only 1 to 6 damage at this point, but you gotta remember, I mean, we're level 6, give or take. Like, I would say at most level 7, at least like level 5. So between 5 and 7, I think an extra 1d6. I guess it's not... Okay, actually, now that I'm thinking about Leading Strike, this is far better, like, infinitely better in real time than it is in turn-based, isn't it? Because in real time, every iterative attack can potentially put a mark on somebody that somebody else could potentially take off before the follow-up strike hits. So, like, imagine, like, Seelah and Arushale. Seelah is attacking the same target as Arushale. Seelah hits, puts a mark on. Arushale shoots, takes the mark off. Seelah hits, mark on, gets shot, mark off. But in turn-based, Seelah just goes and she does her full attack. So you're actually losing out on a lot of DPS with Leading Strike if you're playing in turn-based. Huh. Like without flankers and similar. That's true, but that's also true for real time as well. Like, you would gain the same benefits in real time. Mythic Charge might be nice. Yeah, it does have the same issue that Igor brought up with Leading Strike earlier. It is only a 1d6 at this point, but to counter that, 1d6 is still a decent chunk of damage at this point in the game. Might charge in front of everyone else because tank, that's true. I usually don't charge with her, mainly because I just don't think about charge that often. But if you do charge a lot, then this is definitely an option. But like if we're just talking about what she chose, Ever Ready, I think this is fine. I think Ever Ready is okay. Like giving her the teleporting around feat later. There's a feat to teleport? I actually don't know about that one. Specifically, I don't remember that one. But yeah, I think Ever Ready's fine. We don't really have any way to trigger it right now. Outside of set Seelah next to archers. Oh, yeah. Dimension, this one. That's actually not a bad one for somebody like her. It's definitely not something that I've ever taken. And is definitely way better in turn-based than it is in real time, I think. But yeah, Ever Ready I'm okay with for the most part. Great Fortitude I'm not. This is absolute trash. Do not get save boosting feats on a paladin ever. That's fucking stupid. This is absolutely idiotic. This should never be a thing. Like no. Just don't do this. Power attack is right here. I'm not even gonna mention any outflanks or any teamwork feats because they're not gonna take them. Like, we know they're not gonna take them. They never take them on any build that's not like a Cavalier, and they're forced to because of the build. None of these auto builds have ever once taken a teamwork feat. So I'm not worried about it. Not worried about it. But power attack, vital strike. We got plenty of feats to go down the vital strike chain. Seelah would be an incredible intimidator, as was mentioned earlier. Get you some dazzling display, get all of those. Intimidating prowess, you know, Cornigan Smash, whatever the fucking other one is, Deadly Carnage. Yeah, like there are so many different things to take. Great Fortitude is absolute dog shit. Like, especially since, like, it was one of her best saves anyway, so, like, she's just winning more. Like, this is the thing. It's better to win more on offense than it is to win more on defense. And what I mean by win more, it doesn't matter if you succeed the save by 2 or 12 in first edition. In second edition, it does. But in first edition, as long as you succeed at the save, that's all that fucking matters. And her saves are so high relative to the DCs that we're seeing at this point in the game that she's going to save. So taking Great Fortitude, especially on low difficulties, especially on the difficulties that you're going to be playing when you're doing auto builds. You're not going to be playing an auto build and playing on fucking unfair. It's not going to happen. You're not going to do it. So there's absolutely no reason whatsoever for them to have taken Great Fortitude, except one, and that is to gimp the build intentionally, to make the build unoptimal so that people are forced to build it themselves. That's the only reason that this feat is here. That is it. That is the only reason that Owlcat would put Great Fortitude in here, is because they're like, fuck, we can't make this build too strong. Otherwise, there's no point in anybody exploring different builds. So we're going to put Great Fortitude in here to make it worse intentionally so that people are incentivized to build themselves. The only reason that's fucking feat is in there. Shield Focus Mythic. I am okay with this. I like Shield Focus Mythic a lot. Add your shield bonus and your shield's enhancement bonus to your touch AC. That's really fucking strong, especially for a heavy armor tank who is going to have a really shit touch AC. Getting to add your shield bonus to your touch AC is fucking massive. So I approve. I approve of this. Of all of the defensive mythic abilities, Shield Focus is the best. Yeah, considering no power attack. Now, this is, yes, there are caveats. This is the best defensive mythic feat for her. Best defensive mythic feat. I do also kind of like dodge mythic. But it's actually, the more I think about dodge mythic, the less I like it. Because it's only the first attack every round. And whenever I think about first attacks every round, the first thing that pops into my mind is Mariliths. It's like, oh yeah, they get 6. And that's just one of them gets 6, and it's very rare. Yeah, they buffed Mythic Dodge a while ago. I don't remember what patch it was, but yeah, it's been like this for a couple of months now. But yeah, like if you think about like once you get into later game, Mariliths almost never show up alone. There's usually a couple of Mariliths. That means that there's usually like 12 attacks hitting in the same round, and only one of them you get that plus 10 bonus to AC. Yeah, you gain plus 10 dodge bonus to AC against first attack every round. Yeah, there's a couple of words missing there. It's fine though, don't worry about it. But yeah, talking about shield focus mythic, I really like it a lot. It's really, really strong. And yeah, we're still putting it into charisma. This is really shit. Yep. So that is one thing that we have not seen any exceptions for, is them swapping from one ability score to another in their bonuses. Every single time, it's always been all 5 points go into the same stat. Yeah, so they're just going to be boosting charisma forever. Which, I mean, it's better than them putting it into intelligence. But, like, actually, the fact that they are putting all of her points into charisma makes Great Fortitude even worse. Right? Because this means that they are boosting the ever-living fuck out of her saves by doing this as well. It's shit. I hate it. I hate that that's a thing. Hey, there it is. We got to level 9. We got almost halfway through the build before we got toughness. We even got a fucking save feat before we got toughness. That's actually really surprising. But we do get confused right off the bat, which I actually kind of like confused as one of the mercies. Because confusion is like one of the deadlier statuses to get in this game, right? Because like some of the most dangerous people that you're going to come across are your own party members, right? Like imagine Woljif getting confused and then just turning around and stabbing Darren. Darren's fucking dead. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Darren's fucking dead. So having somebody that can remove confusion and having actually I would say having multiple people being able to remove confusion is like really, really strong. Because like that would never happen. Lies and bullshit, Igor. That happens all the fucking time. Hell, that's why I fucking focus. That's why I get focusing attack confused all the time on my fucking rogues and shit. Anybody that has sneak attack, I want them to never be confused ever. And unfortunately, they tend to have really bad will saves. So they tend to get confused really fucking easily. So yeah, I do everything I possibly can to avoid getting confused on my strong physical attackers. The caster's not really that big of a deal, right? Because what are they going to do? Run up and beat people with a stick that does 1d6 damage? And usually like 1d6 minus 1 or 2 damage if I built the character, because I'm going to fucking drop their strength as low as possible. Yeah, I like Mercy confused here. I've actually been pretty okay with all of her mercies so far. Sickened is fine, diseased is fine, confused is great. I'm actually really okay with all of these. Toughness is fucking, it's a thing. It's a thing that exists. Last Stand, I don't like this. I don't like this that much. We're playing on super low difficulties because we're using auto builds, meaning everything is easy as shit, meaning Seelah and her tanky ass is never going to die. Unless you're just like really, really fucking bad at the game. Starts punching his dog. But you always make sure that he has a melee weapon equipped, so no attacks of opportunity. I also never have Darren riding the dog. Wait, if Darren's riding the dog, doesn't that put him in range of attacks of opportunity? If he shoots or casts a spell? Or is the fact that the dog is then large put him out of range of that? Wait, you have Darren go into melee combat? You're out of your mind. That man stands way the fuck back with a crossbow, sir. There is an objectively correct way to play Darren, and that is with a crossbow standing in the back, not doing jack shit. Because he can't hit anything. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind putting your healer on the front lines. But anyway, Last Stand I don't like. I don't like Last Stand. It's unnecessary for low difficulties. I would go for Rupture Restraints to guarantee that Seelah is available to heal others. Or something like Enduring Spells to increase the duration of her buffs. Abundant Smite, like there are choices to be had here, and none of them are Last Stand. Nope. Doesn't matter. That man stands in the back and shoots crossbows. Give him the crossbow that allows him to heal at range, and you're good to go. Literally nothing at level 10, so that's easy. Missile Shield. I don't like this for the same reason that I don't like Dodge Mythic. It allows you to deflect the first ranged attack per round. The problem is, if you are attacked by ranged characters, you're going to be taking multiple attacks every round. Whether they have, rapid shot, multi-shot, or just iterative attacks, or there's just more than one of them, you're going to be taking multiple shots per round. Missile Shield does negate one of them, doesn't do jack shit for all of the others. I would much rather have something like Power Attack so that I can clear out the enemies faster than Missile Shield so that I can negate one source of damage. I think that this is unnecessary. It's actually a bad feat. It's kind of a trap because the benefit that you get from it does not outweigh the cost of losing out on most other feats that you would be willing to take. I don't like it. We then get Toughness Mythic, which is absolute dog shit. I hate it. Wait, the Mythic Armor feat. What Mythic Armor feat? Which feat do you mean, sir? Or on our mythic feats. Oh, you mean a mythic ability. Okay. Toughness mythic is shit, by the way. It's really fucking bad. It doubles the bonus of toughness, so instead of just 20 points, you're getting 40 points, which is a good chunk of health at that point. However, the second bit is useless. Because what happens... So, for those of you who may have never played this video game, and yet for some reason are watching these videos, let me tell you what happens whenever you go down in combat. The moment a character goes down in combat, the AI forgets that they exist, and then turns to the next awake character on your party, right? So if Seelah goes down, the enemies are going to turn from her, and if you're Igor, they're going to immediately turn on Darren and cut him to fucking pieces. We're not talking about half-orcs. There's a reason I never choose half-orc, and it's because that ability right there is fucking terrible. It actually hurts your ability to survive. So the instant that you go down and you are below 0 health, the AI doesn't give a fuck about you anymore. They turn away from you. They do not continue attacking you until the entire party is down. Which means that this DR10 is literally useless. It does nothing to help you. There's no point to it whatsoever. Because the enemies don't hit you anymore. So, I fucking hate Toughness Mythic. It's really, really bad. The only bet, like, yeah, you get an extra 20 health at level 20. We're level 11, so we get an extra 11 health. But there's so many better things for you to grab. Although her build right now is preventing her from grabbing some of them, you know, like Power Attack Mythic. But it's fine. It's fine. We're continuing our Charisma build because fuck it, why not? Staggered, I hate. I actually really do not like Staggered here. Being staggered is very, very uncommon. You don't see it that often. It's at this point that I think I would grab Fatigued because we want to get exhausted as well. And you need to get Fatigued first. Even Blinded? Yeah. I'm trying to think what gives the staggered condition. And the problem is that there's not that many that are common. Right? And like all of the ones that I'm thinking of are tabletop only. Like being at 0 health. If you are at exactly 0 health, you're actually still awake and alive. You only go unconscious if you're below 0, but you're staggered. So if you're at 0 health, you are staggered in tabletop, but that's not true in this. If you're at 0 health, you are down. Yeah, staggered is such an unusual thing. Fatigued is much better. Hell, nauseated would be better. Poisoned is useless because we just have delay poison communal. I'm really happy that we don't see that right now. But yeah, fatigued, I think, or blinded, or even cursed. Like any of those three, I would say is better. Although it's not a guarantee for cursed because it acts as remove curse as the spell. using the paladin's level as the caster level. So, you know, if you want to guarantee, go for Fatigued or Blinded, but Cursed, it does give you access to another way to remove curses, potentially, but it's not guaranteed, right? So yeah, I would take either of those three. Staggered is shit, don't take it. And, hey, Improved Critical. We actually get a good offensive feat at level 13. By the way, we're at level 13 and we have 2 offensive feats. Literally everything else has been defensive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 feats total. 2 of them offense. Everything else is defense. I don't like it. We still don't have power attack. We are a level 13 strength-based character and we still don't have power attack. I kind of hate it. Not gonna lie. I kind of hate it. I do like Improved Critical a lot. Long swords have a 19 to 20 crit range. This means that we now have a 20% chance on any given attack to crit. Which is not terrible. It's not bad. Nothing here at level 14 for choices. Mythic rank 5. Alright. What is this armor one? Is a charisma-based Seelah build? Ugh, gross. Should still have fucking power attack. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't remember anything being like that, yeah. Yeah, I think you might be thinking of a, I think you might be thinking of some, modded stuff, you cheater. You filthy cheater. Using mods. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, that looks like that's a mod one. So Abundant Smite. I'm okay with this. We now have... So that's an extra 2 smites per day. That's actually not that much. This is like one of those ones where the effect isn't that great. Like maybe grab this at 7 or 9. And like here's the thing, like a lot of the time, like yeah, Rupture Restraints, Leading Strike, Mythic Charge, like all of those are possible. But like Rupture Restraints, you're not really going to be hit by most of these abilities at low difficulties as a paladin. You're just not. You're going to save. You're going to save against these things. So Rupture Restraints is not as necessary for the same reason that Last Stand isn't that necessary. Leading Strike adds extra damage to other people. Mythic Charge adds extra damage to you. But I think Leading Strike would probably do more for you on a more consistent basis than Mythic Charge. Because you're not like, you're not going to charge in, then back out, then charge in, then back out, right? Which I actually did with Vin as my Cavalier in my first playthrough, once I actually started charging. I would actually not do normal attacks anymore. I would just, like, constantly be moving my character in and out. That man took a lot of attacks of opportunity and gave 0 fucks about it. But Abundant Smite is... it's okay. I would say it's okay. Enduring Spells is actually another choice here. Would allow your spells to be 24 out, some of them. Right. Paladin has a lot of very powerful minutes per level buffs, self buffs. So getting enduring and greater enduring spells could be very, very strong. Um, but it looks like we're not doing that. All right. Vital Strike. We get Vital Strike before power attack. That's a choice. That's a choice that you can go with. So the problem here is we are either going to gimp Vital Strike by not getting all 3 forms of it, or we're not getting power attack at all. Because we have 3 feats left. Vital Strike is one of them. We could get improved and greater Vital Strike. Now, here's the thing. I feel that if you have all 3 Vital Strike feats plus Mythic, Vital Strike is actually a very, well, it's actually really strong. It is gonna drop now. All right, Igor. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. Have a good one. I think that Vital Strike, well, there are builds that prove that Vital Strike is very, very strong, right? Like, that is a thing. And yeah, if we get all 3 of them, like, the problem is that we just focus so hard on defense that we're not going to be able to put enough oomph into Vital Strike for it to be like super, super strong. Primarily, we don't have power attack. The fact that we don't have power attack just fucking hurts, because that's such a massive amount of damage, especially once you get mythic power attack. Yeah, once you get mythic power attack, now she is not using a 2-handed weapon, so she's not getting like the full benefit of mythic power attack, right? But just having fucking power attack it's in and of itself, it's such a massive amount of damage. But fuck it, we're going Vital Strike. Mercy Cursed, as I mentioned before, it's obviously it's not a guarantee, but being able to have another source of potentially removing like a Baleful Polymorph, like, that's the curse that I always think of, is Baleful Polymorph. It's the only one that really sticks out. And it's only used by a couple of very powerful enemies, so having multiple sources of removal is important, because you're most likely going to need multiple attempts to get it done. I'm okay with this. Where I'm like, the only other thing would be Fatigued, Exhausted at this point, but obviously we're not heading in that direction. So, if we're not doing Fatigue, Exhausted, I'd say Cursed and Blinded would be the next best duo of choices. So we're hoping to see Blinded next time. We do get Vital Strike Mythic. Okay, this is really important, because normally extra damage from sources that wouldn't normally be multiplied on a critical hit isn't multiplied by this feat. Okay, so like that would mean like have True Sync Communal at this point. Oh, that's true. That's true. Then maybe just Fatigued. Maybe just Fatigued, and we mourn the loss of Exhausted in favor of Staggered. Because fuck it, why not take Staggered? So yeah, normally you don't multiply strength, weapon enhancement bonus, and other bonuses that would be multiplied on a critical hit. Most of the time, you don't get those bonuses added into improved or greater Vital Strike. You just get them once. Which is why I think that Vital Strike Mythic is absolutely vital for going down this feat chain. You really need this if you're going to get improved or greater Vital Strike. But yeah. Alright, getting more charisma, because fuck it, why not? Unstoppable. So Unstoppable is a worse version of Rupture Restraints. Pretty much just objectively. The only difference is that it doesn't matter how many times you get hit by these abilities. With Unstoppable, it will always happen, whereas Rupture Restraints is limited to 3 times per day. But we have to keep in mind this is a paladin, so you're going to be saving against most things. So the few things that would get through, Rupture Restraints will be able to prevent them from targeting you. Rupture Restraints also prevents far more statuses than Unstoppable. So yeah, this is bad. Don't get Unstoppable, get Rupture Restraints instead. It's just flat out better. We do get improved Vital Strike. Yeah, if we're going down this chain, we got to get all 3 of them. So we're just really, really hoping to see greater Vital Strike at 19. Mythic 8 is great. Fortitude, are you fucking kidding me? This is absolute dog shit. At this point, you should be getting improved critical mythic. I think that's literally it. Just get improved critical mythic. It's really fucking strong. All Mythic Fortitude does is it lets you reroll. Like, it does give you advantage on fort saves, but you're not going to need them. You're not going to... Abundant Casting? Shit. Absolute trash. Absolute dumpster fire of a fucking mythic ability. Why would you take this? Okay, wait. No, is it though? You only get to level 4 spells. So this does give you a bonus on most of your spell levels. Oh yeah, it is, because we don't get Inspirational Leader. Yeah, no, this is shit. Get Inspirational Leader instead. I just realized we don't have that yet on her. Yeah. Spellcasts are not that important for paladins. You don't need them that often. It's not why. Paralyzed? Actually, I said that blinded is probably what we would like to see, but paralyzed is pretty good. If somebody fails their save at like an icy prison, I can't remember if overwhelming presence is paralysis or if it's like you get dazed or what. But I'm okay with paralyzed. It's not something that you come across too often, but when you do, it can be deadly. So being able to get rid of it is really strong. Yeah, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this paralysis. Basically, the only one that I didn't like was staggered. All of the other mercies, I'm pretty okay with. I'm actually really okay with all of the mercies except for staggered. If I were to get rid of 2 of them, for fatigued and exhausted, it would probably be staggered and cursed. As much as I was talking up cursed last time, actually at this level you're gonna have heal and mass heal. Actually, we're level 18 at this point. We have mass heal, so actually exhaustion doesn't mean shit anymore. But then again, most statuses don't mean shit anymore once you get heal. The mercies are fine. The mercies are actually really strong. I'm okay with them. 18, and we do get greater Vital Strike. All right, so sorry, 19, not 18. So yeah, we did go all the way down the Vital Strike build. The only issue is we don't have power attack to add even more damage to it. Because that power attack damage would have been multiplied through Vital Strike. All right, let me just double check. It doesn't say something stupid like this isn't added on in a crit, right? Let's do damage on all melee rolls. Yeah, so it doesn't have anything that says that it does not get multiplied on a crit, meaning that power attack damage would be multiplied on Vital Strike. Once you get Mythic Vital Strike. Normally on Vital Strike, no. On Mythic Vital Strike, yes. So if we got rid of just Missile Shield and got power attack instead of Missile Shield, this build could be like just that change right there just massively increases the damage output of this build. It's an absolutely insane amount of extra damage that we're missing out. Or Great Fortitude, yeah. Either one of those we could get rid of. Hell, both of them. Get rid of them both. Fuck it. Like honestly, if we want to minimize the amount of changes that we make to this build, and we're looking at just these feats, get rid of Great Fortitude and get power attack. Get rid of Missile Shield and get outflank. You could shuffle these around. You could shuffle these around to different parts, to different levels. But if you just got rid of those two and got those two other feats, power attack and outflank, and then obviously you had somebody else with outflank as well, this build would actually be half-assed decent. As it is, the fact that it doesn't have power attack or outflank is really damaging. Granted, as I mentioned earlier, no auto build takes vitals outflank ever. So there is that. But overall, this build, Destructive Shockwave, actually this is really good. The fact that we don't have improved critical mythic is not, but Destructive Shockwave is actually pretty fucking strong. The reason I say that is because this damage doesn't get reduced by damage reduction, as far as I could tell. I used to think that this ability was kind of shit, and then I was watching a Lore Spire stream where he was at Threshold and he was fighting, I think he was on Unfair, and he was fighting against the that big ass like 60 AC Vivacia, and he wasn't really able to hit it very consistently. But despite that, he was able to do consistent damage to it with every swing because of Destructive Shockwave. And that damage added up. Because he had a very high strength character. It was doing like 13 or 15 damage every time he swung. Regardless of whether or not he was actually hitting. So, Destructive Shockwave, it's a very good way to hedge your bets against like the strongest of enemies, guaranteeing that you're going to get at least some damage no matter what. And for this, if we were to swap out Great Fortitude for improved critical, Mythic Toughness for Mythic Power Attack, if we were looking at these, those would be the two main changes that I would pick. Obviously, I would swap out Unstoppable for Rupture Restraints if we're going for one of those. Get rid of Last Stand and get... honestly, I would get rid of Last Stand and get Enduring Spells, and get rid of Abundant Casting and get Greater Enduring Spells. Those would be the changes that I would make to these. They're you know, without changing literally everything, right? Well, like, most of this stuff is actually pretty okay. Right, at this point, you're getting an extra 5 smites per day. Shield Focus Mythic, like I said, it's like one of the best defensive Mythic feats, and the fact that we get it so early is really, really strong. Vital Strike Mythic is required for a Vital Strike build. Destructive Shockwave is actually really good. Get rid of Great Fortitude Mythic and Toughness Mythic. Get improved Critical Mythic and Power Attack Mythic. Obviously, relying on the fact that you actually fucking take Power Attack in your main build. But yeah, if you do all of that, this build isn't actually fucking terrible. And like even this build is manageable at lower difficulties. Like you will definitely be able to get through normal with this build without much issue, right? I mean, hell, she's gonna be basically untouchable for the most part in the game. Like you're just not gonna be able to. She's just not gonna take damage. But could be better. Could be better. And oh man, look at that. We actually evened out an ability score at the final level for once. But no choices here. Not really. All right, so that is Seelah. That is Seelah. I would say that she is probably stronger than... I would say that she is stronger than Camellia. Yeah. I would say that she is stronger than Camellia in their auto builds. But it's time to move on. We now have Lann. It's time to see what Lann is. So obviously, Lann is a Zen archer. A monk bowman. Its combat reflexes. Why? Why at level 1? This is stupid. I hate this. Okay, so wait, let's look at the background. Hunter adds Lord Nature and Perception to the list of her class skills, also becomes proficient with short bows and long bows. I think this is useless. I think this is actually useless. Already has short bows and long bows. Obviously, he's a Zen archer. Yeah, it's just flavor, unfortunately. Again, we get combat reflexes at fucking level 1. Why? You don't even have a way for him to use attacks of opportunity with his bow, which is the way he's supposed to be fighting. But anyway, we get Precise Shot, which I am very okay with. Obviously, it's the best one out of this lot. Very questionable subclass. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Zen Archer, unfortunately. The main reason being is that it kind of negates some of the Archer feats. Like, Rapid Shot is absolutely useless because it doesn't stack with Flurry of Blows. A Zen Archer cannot use Rapid Shot or Many Shot when making a Flurry of Blows with his bow. So, why? Why have it as a bonus feat specific to this class if it doesn't stack with the main reason that people pick this class? Unless they're power gamers. If they're power gamers, then they're going to pick a monk because they want the extra AC. But even then, they're not going to pick the Zen Archer. They're going to pick the Scaled Fist, right? Like, that's the one to pick if you're going for full-on power gaming. And also, why choose combat reflexes at level 1? Not just why choose combat reflexes at level 1, but why choose combat reflexes at level 1 when it is one of your class feat, bonus feats? That you have a large number of, but you don't have a large number of choices. So we have 4 left, 4 choices. I'm sorry, we have 3 choices, which means if we don't pick any of these outside of these feats, these bonus feats, we will have none left over. So because we chose combat reflexes at level 1 as our normal feat, we're actually going to skip one of these. We will actually not have a choice to make here at level 18. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. It does add... Never mind. I'm sorry. It does add more as we level in. I apologize. I was incorrect. But if you notice... Wait, let's take a look at this. What is that I see at level 6? Do I see many shot? Yet another feat that does not stack with Flurry of Blows? So, what is actually better? Is it better to make a Flurry of Blows, or is it better to use Rapid Shot, Many Shot? I'm actually not sure. Let me pull up a page. Oh, hey, I still have my let's do this. Not like it. Yeah, I just Aru is just better. Yeah, she is. All right, let's here. Let's look up Monk. Flurry of Blows. Oh, wait, is this? This is not the Unchained. 1 second. Unchained classes. Monk. All right. It takes no penalty for using multiple weapons when making a flurry of blows. It does not gain any additional attacks. Yeah. Wait. It's just 1 extra attack. And then you get an extra attack at level 11. So what's the only difference is that you don't get the -2 from Rapid Shot, which can be undone by a mythic feat. So Rapid Shot and Many Shot, which you can get earlier than you can get your second mythic Flurry of Blows here, right? Is the exact same as Flurry of Blows. That's fucking stupid. The more I think about this fucking class, the more I hate it. Like, the Zen Archer is just really shit. All right, well, we got Precise Shot. Let's just continue onwards. Yeah, the more I think about this character, the more I dislike his class. All right, we get Deadly Aim. We get Point Blank Master. Oh, we're just gonna get that. Okay, that's fine. And yeah, by the way, it is good that we chose longbow, because between longbows and short bows, there is an objectively better choice, and it is longbow because longbows just do more damage. I literally see zero reason for somebody to use a short bow over a longbow in Wrath of the Righteous or Kingmaker. In tabletop, there are actual reasons to use one over the other, but in the video games, there's literally not. Short bows are just weaker than longbows. So it's good that he chose the objectively better bow to use. All right, level 4. Yeah, we're boosting up wisdom. Oh, actually, we did not look at his stats. Strength and dex are both 17, which is really strange. Con is 12, int is 11, charisma is 9. Yeah, it is a very strange stat spread. So it's like, why do we need the 17 dex? Yes, actually, wisdom does a lot. Wisdom actually takes over as his attack stat. I think fairly early, actually, even. Is it here? Yes. So once you get to level 3, why do we have dex then? Very fucking good question. That's a very good question. And yeah, so here's the thing. He had actually set, so this is at a -2. So this was initially put points into charisma. So we have 2 15s in strength and dex. We had a 17 wisdom. An 11 charisma. So we put a point into charisma because fuck it, I guess. We put a point into intelligence because fuck it, I guess. And 12 con. I love that it has a bonus to, like, it has a thumbs up on dex for this class, when dex is almost immediately overtaken by wisdom, because wisdom gives attack and armor class. Yeah, so wisdom is a double, like a triple dip stat for Zen archers. It's will save, it is attack, and it is AC. It's all 3. It's like incredibly important. Like to the point where I honestly think that both of these thumbs up should be gone. Yeah, Ranger does need, well, actually, I don't know if Demon Slayer needs has spells or not. I can't remember. I think there's like a Ranger class that gets rid of their spell list. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I looked at the archetypes. But yeah, having a high strength is fine because, you know, it adds to your damage on your attack rolls. For longbows, dex is only useful until level 3, and then it becomes shit, so I don't know why this is so high. It just adds to AC, and I guess to initiative. Con is fine. I would definitely, I agree, we should dump this down to 5. Like, fuck dumping it down to 7. Dump this shit down to 5. Looks like it was just a hiccup, not a full-on disconnect. Yay. But going back to what I was saying before the stream DC'd, if you have a racial modifier that's negative, you can drop it down to 5. Normally it's 7, but just like you normally can't get up to a 20, but you can if you have a racial modifier that adds. If you have a racial modifier that takes away, you can get it down to 5. So yeah, dump charisma. I would honestly say it would be fine to even boost strength up a bit more. Drop dex. Like, there's no reason to have 17 dex. Like 14 I would say is okay. One second. Yeah, exactly. It happened to Igor at the beginning of the stream too. As soon as he came in, I disconnected, but that one was like a full-on disconnect. And hell, there was issues before I even got started because it kept trying to make me go live onto a different stream title. Like, it was just using the wrong stream that I had scheduled. It was fucking weird. And then we get, okay, so looking at this, we get True Strike. That's fine. The main reason that I'm not a huge fan of True Strike is because it is a standard action, which means that you're giving up 1 turn to get a plus 20 to your next attack. All of them are bad. Barkskin is okay. Sudden speed is really good for a normal monk. It's far less important for a Zen archer because you're just a turret. You just stand in the back and you shoot at people. You don't really need to move ever. Which is kind of why I'm a little bit okay with True Strike, because if you are, for whatever reason, having trouble hitting the person that you're shooting, gotta sleep. Actually got stuff to do tomorrow. All right, man. Have a good night. Get you some, hope you have a good sleep. And, yeah. See you later, bud. Yeah, I think in order of importance, I think True Strike is probably the best choice here for Zen Archer. And it's kind of a toss-up between Sudden Speed and Barkskin. Barkskin can be important because you are kind of a tankier backliner. So he can be kind of like, if somebody decides to, like, if, you know, there's some fights where suddenly there's people on the back line. Barkskin could be really useful there to kind of try and be a secondary tank in the back. Especially since we have point blank mastery, so we're not provoking attacks of opportunity when we shoot people. So Barkskin could be useful. So yeah, I think it would probably be True Strike, then Barkskin, then Sudden Speed, then Scorching Ray. Scorching Ray, I would say, is only important if you're having trouble hitting somebody's normal AC and you need to target touch. But at that point, you also have to be concerned with the fact that you're trying to use fire damage, which a lot of times for the stronger enemies, they are going to be resistant to. So, there's like a whole fucking can of worms to open up with Scorching Ray. But yeah, I think True Strike is probably the best of these 4. For a Zen Archer specifically. And then we get Toughness, and I hate this build even more because this is a ranged character. Why are you taking Toughness at level fucking 5? Stop it. Although, honestly, I don't really know what fucking feats you want to take on this guy, because you don't want to take the fucking weapon, like the actual shooter feats, because they don't do anything. Except Rapid Shot is actually a, Rapid Shot is actually a prereq. And it's a prereq for a feat whose feat chain is started for us by the build itself. We get Snapshot for free, and we can't get Improved Snapshot until we get Rapid Shot. So if you're gonna do Snapshot and you don't want to run your fucking archer into melee range, yeah, I would like you to read that first sentence. This first sentence says, while wielding a ranged weapon, you threaten squares within your melee reach. You can make attacks of opportunity with that ranged weapon. Do not provoke attacks of opportunity when making a ranged attack as an attack of opportunity. So, I hate Snapshot. By itself, Snapshot is trash. Even getting all the way through the Snapshot line, like if we take Improved Snapshot and then Greater Snapshot, I think Greater Snapshot only here. Let's see if I can't find it. Here. Threaten additional 5 feet. So you have to be within 10 feet of the person you're trying to hit with attacks of opportunity. I don't like this line, but we get the first one for free. So it might be worthwhile, especially since we have so many bonus feats. Might be worthwhile to take it. But if we're looking at the feat that we actually take, toughness is absolute dog shit. And I hate that we get it. Really fucking bad. Alright, bark skin. As I mentioned before, I'm actually really okay with this. Bark skin, I think, is the second most important one to get for a Zen Archer. And then we do get improved precise shot, which might be useful. The problem is it's only blur, it's not displacement. Now, I don't know if this is changed based on difficulty, but if I remember correctly, the vast majority of the mythic enemies that end up gaining concealment gain displacement. They don't have blur. So they have full concealment, which means improved precise shot does not do anything. That's like the main issue that I have with improved precise shot, is that it doesn't counter the actual like main reason that you would get something like this. Like you want to be able to hit people through displacement. But improved precise shot falls just short, unfortunately. And there's just so few people that actually use blur instead of displacement in this game. Alright, Mythic rank 1, we get Abundant Key. Hooray, we get 1 extra key point. What do you mean? It's so good. The fact that we don't immediately take cleaving shot on this character, it hurts. It hurts me a lot. Because all of the shit that I've talked about Lann, he does do a good chunk of damage. He does do a good chunk of damage. And he can very easily one-shot a lot of the low-level enemies in the game. Like, back when I did speed runs of this game, I would literally... So, Lann and Arushale were both in my party because they were just really good turrets. And when we got to the arena where we had to fight the Mephits in Alushanara, I would just have them both target one group on either side, you know, like the clusters. And they would both one-shot the person that they were shooting at and explode the entire cluster. They would both kill like 5 people in one shot. It was great. I absolutely love cleaving shot. It does lose its effectiveness on like the harder difficulties because you're just not killing people that often. As much, I should say. And yeah, critical hits on a longbow, not really something that you're looking at that often. It is a nat 20 only crit weapon. So, but cleaving shot is still the best one, especially, as I said, for lower difficulty levels, when you are far more likely to one-shot enemies. Clustered shots. I really like clustered shots. This is level 7. You are, you know, this is kind of expecting you to be leaving the chapel, the Lost Chapel at this point. So you're about to be heading into Dresden. There are a fair number of demons in Dresden that are starting to get DR. You're starting to run into DR more consistently at this point. So getting clustered shots right now, I am perfectly fine with. It just allows you to ignore that. So I am happy with this. I hate the fact that Snapshot is recommended. Not just because I don't like the feat. It's also because it's literally given to you. Deadly Aim Mythic, I'm perfectly fine with. I am 100% fine with Deadly Shot or Deadly Aim Mythic here. It's just a boost to damage. I do like Point Blank Shot Mythic as well. But Deadly Aim Mythic is a better source of damage. So I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. Still boosting Wisdom, which I'm fine with. Oh yeah, we didn't actually look at his skills. I'm sorry about that. Athletics, Mobility, and Perception. I am pretty okay with Athletics. Like if we're thinking about like actual RP, all of these make total sense. What I would prefer, I would probably prefer Lore Nature over Mobility. Athletics simply because we don't have that many party members that go for Athletics. So it's nice to have somebody that does it. Perception is good on literally anybody that doesn't have a -7 to their Wisdom. So I'm okay with Perception. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Perception is really good. Athletics is fine. Mobility, like I said, I would trade that for Lore Nature. Yeah. We would be able to take more advantage of our high Wisdom by doing this. Key Power Restoration. It is self only, and it is 2 points. But it is a free restoration. Does not require you to spend any components for it, which in later game doesn't matter that much. But as I mentioned with Seelah, being able to use her mercies to avoid having to use restoration. At this point in the game, you're just getting into Dresden, you know, you're going through there. As soon as you get Dresden, there's a lot of shops that open up that have a lot of really good items. And so you're going to be a bit short on cash for quite a while. And you might not, and especially if you're me, you're going to fucking forget that Diamond Dust exists, period, because you're too busy staring at that pretty sword. So you're not going to, like, if you're me and you're a dum-dum, you're not going to be able to cast Restoration because you're not going to have the fucking materials for it. So being able to use Restoration, at least on one character, it's pretty nice. Pretty good. I approve. So we have improved initiative. Interesting. This is not something that we see very often. It is a feat that I am always okay with. I love initiative. It makes it so that you can kill the enemies before they get a chance to do anything. This helps especially on turn-based, right? Because the more people, the more attacks that you can stack before the enemy even gets a chance to move is super important in turn-based, right? Because you could just dump all of your attacks onto the people that are earliest in the initiative order and just keep pushing back the enemies by killing the people that are coming up next, right? So having a lot of people that have really high initiative is really important. I like it a lot. I like improved initiative. It's one of my favorite feats, and it's one that we never ever see in the auto build, so I'm really happy to see it here. Snapshot, not so much. Expose vulnerability. Now, this is an interesting one. The reason that it's interesting is because the vast majority of the time on lower difficulties, an enemy is not going to survive long enough to be able to take advantage of this. Because it requires 4 hits on a single enemy, 3 of them being from this character, before it triggers, right? Because you need to... Oh, I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. It is only 3. For whatever reason, I was kind of combining exposed vulnerability and leading strike. I thought that exposed vulnerability, you hit 3 times, and then you have to hit 1 more to actually... Like, 3 times, like, builds up the charge, and then the 4th hit triggers it. But no, it's only the 3. So if you need to hit somebody 3 times to trigger this, not great. And hell, even sometimes on the hardest difficulties, that's not a thing. The monk double hit early. You're not wrong, but at this point, we're level 8. And we would actually have more attacks if we just took rapid shot and many shot as we would via the flurry of blows. Because also, hi Matt, how you doing? Flurry of blows in Wrath of the Right, so they're going off of the Unchained monk, not the original. And the Unchained Flurry of Blows just gives you 1 extra hit at level 1, which is really good at level 1, like, don't get me wrong. But you don't get a second hit until level 11. And those don't stack with Rapid Shot and Many Shot. Oh, you're good, bud. You're good, bud. So, like, this is, like, my whole problem with this entire class, is that it fights against itself. It has Rapid Shot and Many Shot in its list of bonus feats, but they negate Flurry of Blows if you have them activated. You can't be doing both Flurry of Blows and Rapid Shot, Many Shot. You have to choose one, basically. And literally the only benefit that Flurry of Blows has over Rapid Shot, Many Shot is that you don't have the -2 to attack from Rapid Shot, which gets negated by a mythic feat. So it's weird. It's a weird build, like it's a weird class in general. But yeah, like going back to this mythic ability and not talking about the other weirdnesses in this class. A lot of people just aren't going to survive 3 hits. So you're not really going to trigger this damage. And I go back to my most recent playthrough of the game. I didn't finish it. I didn't finish the game, but I did get past Baphomet. If you remember from back in my Twitch days, I had just beaten Baphomet in my playthrough of Wrath, and I 3-shot him on unfair difficulty. I 3-shot Baphomet on unfair. Now, I wasn't using auto builds. For one thing, I had a legend character who was built around dishing out as much bullshit damage as I possibly could. And, yeah, Big Daddy Baphomet went down in 3 hits. It was really satisfying, honestly. Um, yeah, that was on unfair. If you're on like story difficulty, nobody survives 3 hits from Lann. Like it just doesn't happen. Although this is kind of the opposite of leading strike. So when we were doing Seelah, we mentioned leading strike and how leading strike is far stronger on real time than it is in turn based. I think exposed vulnerability is the opposite. I feel like exposed vulnerability is far more powerful on turn based. So you can just words. So yeah, in turn-based, you know, you just unload with Lann and you don't have anybody else attacking the character or the target. So you're more likely to be able to trigger exposed vulnerability on turn-based than you are in real time, where Lann's attacks are being combined with other people's attacks the right amount, because then you can trigger that really easily. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to trigger leading strike fairly easily, especially in real time. Because like a lot of times, like your whole party is just gonna fucking dogpile one person at a time. At least at first, right? Whenever you first get into combat. At least if you're me, you usually just click on one enemy and you send everybody to attack that guy. It's like, fuck you in particular. And then after that, they kind of spread out and do their own thing, unless you like refocus them. But yeah, exposed vulnerability is fine. What could we grab instead? Rupture restraint. Oh yeah, we still don't have cluster shots or cleaving shot. Fuck you. Get cleaving shot. Fuck this shit. Get cleaving shot. Cleaving shot's better. Stop not getting cleaving shot. We now have improved critical longbow. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not a massive fan of improved critical on nat 20 only weapons. Right? The bonus you get is minimal compared to other options. Because you're literally just, you're doubling it from 5%. It's a 5% chance normally, and now it's a 10%. Easy clearing, yeah. Just have you a Cavalier, have you a Legend Cavalier Slayer with Cleave, have them enlarged, and then just charge them in. You don't even need anybody else. They just explode everybody around them. Oh, this is a bonus feat. So you are fairly limited in what you could pick. I mean, I guess in this bonus feat, improved critical is probably the best choice. Yeah. So that's fine. This is not. This is not. Improved critical was enough for a nat 20 only crit weapon. Going into critical focus, this is far too much investment for far too little return. You have a 10% chance to hit that crit range on any given attack. Going further into crit, this is bad. Don't do this for long bows and short bows. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad. It's bad. Don't do it. Better take cleaving shot at one point. I think he does. I think I remember him doing that. But it's been a while. Flawless attacks. We have improved critical mythic, which I don't think is that good. It does give us a ×4 crit multiplier, which is actually really strong. Improved initiative mythic is pretty fun. We would have another +4 to our initiative. Point blank shot mythic is a +1 on attack and damage. Weapon specialization mythic is a +2 to damage, which I'm not a fan of. I usually avoid flawless attacks because I don't like buffing up. Because like this does absolutely nothing for your flurry of blows attacks and your normal one, right? This only kicks in once you start getting to your iteratives. And it's kind of the same reason why I really don't like Hammer the Gap. Usually take point blank shot off once I get further into the game. There's an argument to be made, but on the other hand, like it also depends on whether you're using real time or turn-based, right? Because in turn-based, the instant you move, you lose your fucking full round attack. Whereas in real time, it just kind of delays it a bit. Or it delays your next attack slightly. So yeah, that depends on. I don't mind. I always just keep it on. Because it's a very small cost of, because like most of the time I keep my party pretty put together anyway, so they're pretty close regardless. And yeah, it is an extra 5% chance to hit, which I mean, like, yeah, there's definitely arguments to be made for either way. And if you have mythic, then it's an extra 10% chance that you're losing out on if you do this. Weapon focus mythic sucks because it's only weapon focus mythic is literally just objectively worse than point blank shot mythic because it's only a +1 to attack, whereas point blank shot mythic is a +1 to attack and damage. But yeah, flawless attacks. It increases the chances to hit of your less likely to hit attacks, right? But it's a 5% increase on the second attack and a 10% increase on this third. And is Monk a full BAB? I think Monk is a full BAB class. If it is, then it gives you a +15% chance on the third or on the fourth. Just real time through trash areas, but turn based on bosses. Coward! Real time everywhere. Still boosting up wisdom. That doesn't surprise me. Key power, abundant step. This is one that I would never use, but if I was better at the game, I would use it a lot more. Like, this is a very strong ability. Teleportation is like incredibly powerful. And like, this is the fun thing. The more that I think about my book and how I want to write the main character and everything, the more I think of how powerful certain magic abilities actually are. Like, portals are really fun to play with, by the way. Portals are really fun to play with. I have like a whole fight scene that I have in my head that's based entirely around melee combat with portals added in. And it just plays through my head. I'm like, oh, that would be so satisfying to see. But yeah, portals are really fun to play with. Teleportation is incredibly powerful. Hell, even telepathy and telekinesis. They are all abilities that become more powerful the more creative you get with them. Like, if you're thinking about them not in a video game context, but like in a real life context, all of those abilities, the smarter you are, the better they get. Oh, Spot. I haven't seen either of the Spider-Verse movies. I really need to, but I have not seen them. But yeah, I do know that he has some kind of portal power. But yeah, the instant that you add portals into something, things become very complicated very quickly, and you have to figure out what exactly those portals can do, and you have to limit them. You have to limit. You can't have Doctor Strange portals where they can basically do whatever the fuck you want. Being able to cut off people's hands is incredibly, like, holy shit. That's suddenly one of your strongest weapons, period. You just dismember people by closing a portal around them. Also, the fact that he does that, and it shows him doing that, this is like one of the criticisms I have for Infinity War. The fact that it shows him chopping off the hand of one of Thanos' minions, but then he doesn't even try it on Thanos, you know, the guy whose hand is really fucking important. I think he actually cuts off the right hand of the, I say that as I raise my left hand. Yeah, they travel the multiverse. There's no line of sight requirement. They can open portals from one planet to another. They can dismember people. It's one of the first things that a sorcerer learns. Imagine teaching somebody a spell that powerful at level 1. It's insane. You're opening a dimensional rift to another plane of existence, basically. And they teach it to newbie sorcerers. Strange is dumb, I guess, which is very against his characterization. Strange is not supposed to be dumb. He's supposed to be a very smart boy. But before I go into another Marvel rant, let's continue on to this. But yeah, teleportation, very strong. If I was better at the game, I would use it more. That's about it. Blind fight. Why? I mean, I guess it gives you immunity to... I guess it gives you immunity to gaze attacks. But why? Outside of, like, monk flavor, you know, the fucking blind monk thing. Outside of that, why this? Why this outside of anything else? Act 1 and 2? I don't really see gazes at all. I don't even know what enemies in this game have gaze attacks, because they just never fucked with me. I don't even remember them being a thing. Oh wait, the big spiders. The big giant demon spiders. Those have gaze attacks that I think paralyze. So that could be useful. Being able to just give the big middle finger to those guys. Yeah, there's just like not that many feats that I care about for him. We don't really want critical feats, because if we actually focus any further on critical feats, I'm gonna cry. Undead thing in Canabras does a gaze stun with all the ghouls. I don't even remember that. I do not remember that at all. Yeah, this is actually kind of strange because I don't see any feats that I really care about. Because like they're all down here. Rapid shot, many shot. Once we get rapid shot, like I actually really like those. Honestly, I would take those and mythic rapid shot over fucking blind fight. But what do I know? We now get Scorching Ray, because fuck it. I guess I just never went back there, because I do not remember that at all. I just killed the Necromancer and just left. Scorching Ray, I think, is probably one of the worst things to pick here. I would say Diamond Soul is probably the best. Spell resistance is kind of difficult to come across, honestly. There's not too many sources of it outside of just spamming the spell on everybody. And then you're just eating through a shit ton of high-level spell slots to give everybody spell resistance. So, while it's not that much, it's only current level plus 10. Hate involuntary spell resistance because it always blocks my shit. I thought that it auto, like, the spell resistance auto succeeded on friendly spells. Is that not true? Really? I did not know that. Wow, that's actually really shit then. Wow. I never really bothered too much with spell resistance because like a lot of the times like the majority of my experience playing these games is on story difficulty for speedrunning purposes, right? Like I played through on normal a few times. My most recent playthrough, I bumped it up to unfair because even on like core difficulty, I was one-shotting bitches. And there was just zero challenge. And then I bumped it up to unfair, and I was still 1 and 2-shotting people. Because apparently I just built my character too OP. Like, all right, I was trying not to do this, but apparently, like, he was a Kinetic Knight Slayer legend. And he just fucking ripped through people like nothing. It was insane. Just destroyed everything. One of these days I'll actually play that game again. I guess Dodge is fine. Mentioned this before, I'll say it now again. I like Dodge more than I like most defensive feats. Partially because it does open up the crane wing, the crane style feat chain, which is really good defensively. But also just because it gives a dodge bonus, which are, you know, quite a bit rarer. And they stack with other sources of dodge AC, which is really nice. Well, hello, Shelby Cat. You gonna come and say hi to everybody? Hi. Nope, she's really saying hi. You rubbing on the microphone? Distracting shots. I hate it. Mainly because it's not the one that's too above it. Should be cleaving shot. The fact that we are now on Mythic rank 5 and we still don't have cleaving shot upsets me on a personal level. I feel personally attacked. I feel insulted by Owlcat. The entirety of the company has insulted me personally by not taking cleaving shot on this character by Mythic rank 5. I don't appreciate it. Bye, kitten. Staggering critical. I hate it. I hate it for 2 fucking reasons. Good fucking question, Matt. I don't know. So, like, If you combo rapid and multi-shot, you get the same number of extra attacks as you do with Flurry of Blows. Flurry of Blows gives you 2 extra attacks at level 11. Between rapid shot and multi-shot, you get 2 extra attacks. So Flurry of Blows then becomes useless. The only difference is Flurry of Blows does not take the -2 to attack, but Rapid Shot Mythic gets rid of that penalty. So, like, yeah, there's 3 feats there that you would not otherwise need to take, but none of these feats right here, like if we just look at these possible selections, cluster shots we already took, combat mobility is shit, deflect arrows is shit, combat reflexes we already have also is shit. Precise shot we got, point blank shot we got, improved precise shot we got. Like, what else is there? What else is there? Instead of dodge, you take rapid shot. Instead of, you know, whatever the fuck we take at 18, you take many shot. They're probably going to take fucking combat mobility or some dumb shit. Or deflect arrow. It's probably going to be deflect arrows. Like, let's be real. And then at that point, it's literally just 1 mythic feat to replace. Yeah, this archetype, like, it's an interesting idea. Like, a ranged monk is a really interesting idea. The problem is that it just fights itself so fucking hard. The fact that 2 of the feats on the bonus feat list invalidate one of the core parts of the class entirely? What the fuck? And, like, here's the thing. I didn't know this for the longest time. I did not know that these did not stack until I did the Finder Path cast pod with Lore Spire and Unsung. They were the ones that told me. It's like, no, this is shit because of these reasons. Or something. No, I think it was a little bit before that. I can't remember exactly what. It was relatively recent. It was well past the point where I was doing speedruns of this game anymore. But yeah, this archetype is really bad. Interesting idea, very bad execution. Fights itself a lot. Yeah, not good. Also, staggering critical on a fucking longbow. 2 reasons why I despise this. A, because it's a critical. We're investing even more feats into criticals on a longbow, which normally only has a nat 20 crit range. We now have a 19 to 20 crit range. We have now invested 3 feats into critical hits when we only have a 10% chance on any given attack to get a critical hit. So that's one reason. Reason number 2, it's staggering critical. It's the worst of all of the critical feats. Stop taking staggering critical. It's shit. Take tiring into exhausting. Take sickening. Don't take blinding, but I would take blinding over staggering. Stop putting staggering critical into your auto builds, Owlcat. Stop it. It's bad. It's bad. Stop it. Don't make me get the fucking newspaper. I'll fucking swat you on your nose. Bad. No. We get point blank shot mythic. Okay, I'm okay with that. It's a +1 to attack and damage. Incoming hammer the gap. Fuck off. Get out of here with your nonsense. No, we need another crit feat, and then we need critical mastery. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna fucking invest 5 feats into these 10% crit chances. Point blank shot mythic. Hammer the gap better than crit focus longbow? I don't know. I legitimately don't know. Because when longbows crit, they do a lot of fucking damage. Nah, no shot. Hammer the Gap is at its best on fucking Smilodons. Or any natural attack build that has like 4 or 5 natural attacks. Well, hello. Hi, bud. Because yeah, they don't have any penalty on any of their attacks. Need to try one of those someday. Get you a shifter. Get you a Manticore shifter. Or something. I've heard that those are like really fucking overpowered. So yeah, point blank shot mythic is fine. I would like improved initiative mythic. I think that would actually help out more than point blank shot mythic. Weapon specialization mythic at this point would be really nice as well. It gives us a +3 to damage. Forgot to buy the shifter DLC while it was on sale. The class itself is really fun. The story I felt was a bit lackluster. I really wasn't feeling it as I went through the story of the shifters. But I honestly don't even know if it's all finished. It kind of just stopped. So and I didn't finish the playthrough. So I don't know if it continues on once you get out of the Abyss, because I kind of stopped like as soon as I was leaving the Abyss. So it might continue on after that, but the class itself is really fun. And I really like the companion character. Ulbrig is really fun as well. So yeah, there's wisdom, stats are still the same, and we do now have spell resistance. Now that I know that there's no auto succeed on friendly spell casts on spell resisted people, I'm less okay with this. Can you toggle this? Is this something that you can toggle? Because I know that there's some that you can. I'm curious. We'll look at that. We'll look at that whenever we get there. We now have ranging shots. So here's the thing. Ranging shots is usually number 2 on things that I pick up. On any ranged character. On any archer character, ranging shots is number 2. Number 1 is cleaving shot, which we still don't fucking have, and I'm mad about that. Because we're now at mythic rank 7, and we still don't have cleaving shot, the best fucking mythic ability. But ranging shots is good. Basically, ranging shots will guarantee that you, like, equalize add a bonus, add an attack bonus, where you are likely to hit. Oh yeah, shifters are fucking great. I love them. I absolutely adore them. But yeah, ranging shots is fine. I like it a lot. But yeah, definitely get you some cleaving shot in your life. Lann, you shit. Iron Will is trash. Why the fuck would you take Iron Will? You are a wisdom-based class. Why, though? What's your will save, sir? How is it lower than Fortitude? Wait. This guy doesn't have a high will save? Monk does not have a high will save. What the fuck? Reflex and I mean, like, honestly, Monk, I could see Monk being, like, a class that has all 3 of them, right? Fortitude, Reflex, and Will. I could see Monk having all 3 of them be high. Honestly, I could see that being, like, a very unique aspect to the class. Is that all of them have a high... They have all 3 saves as high. Only the traditional one has all 3? Okay, maybe that's just a benefit to that class, or to that archetype. That would be fine too. But regardless, Iron Will is real shit because despite the fact that he does not have a high will save, his will save was almost as high as his fort save. It was still the lowest one, but it was still a +10. Zen Monk, yeah. Yeah, but like again, I don't really know what the fuck we take on this guy anymore. Because we're locked out of so many feats because fuck it. Get you some 2-weapon fighting. Fuck it. Just go for a 2-weapon fighting build because this archery shit ain't working for you apparently. Improve critical mythic. I guess. This bumps us up to 4 feats invested into critical hits on a 10% crit chance weapon. Only monks had some other on-theme weapon. Potentially one that you always have with you. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. You're speaking crazy speaks. Fucking fine, I guess. Improved initiative mythic would have been better, but that's because I really like improved initiative. Alright, what do we get? The bigger they are, we never get cleaving shots. Fuck yeah. So, here's the thing. The bigger they are is okay. It's fine. But it's not better than cleaving shot. Fuckers. Hate you, Owlcat. Why you always take bad? Why do you focus on the bad, man? Imagine not taking cleaving shot on a ranger character. On an archer character. That's the word I was looking for. Combat mobility. Bleh. So I said that they were probably going to take combat mobility because I thought that, you know, they're obviously going to take the worst one. And I was like, no. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's take deflect arrows instead. I don't know. Does this like even work with bows? Are there many archers in late game? Fuck, I don't know. Longbows, 2 hands. You can hold a bow in 1 hand and snatch an arrow out of the air. I could do it. I could snatch an arrow out of the air. Give me the 15 million subscribers and I'll fucking prove it. Just fucking take rapid shot, many shot, man. Like, this is so stupid. Because when you move out of or within a threatened area. Hey, you know what? You know what prevents you from needing to do this? This. Remember how we got point blank master longbow? Remember how we haven't provoked attacks of opportunity when shooting since level 3? Remember how we have snapshot? That's like, hey, you actually want your archer to stand in melee range because fuck it. Oh yeah, you also have dimensional fucking whatever the hell. Abundant step. So you can do that as well. So you have 3 fucking reasons in this build to not need combat mobility, and yet that's what they take. Fuck it, take improved critical short bow. Get you at least a little bit of fucking, I guess, variation. I don't know. It's stupid. I hate it. I didn't even talk about wholeness of body. Hold up. Let's talk about this. A monk can gain immunity to poisons of all kinds. You know what else gives you that? A fucking level 3 spell that you're going to have in your party. Also, fuck this level. I'm not even talking about lightning reflexes. I refuse. Tough to... Fuck it. Nope. I'm just mad. I'm just mad. I'm actually, like, really upset about this stupid class. Holy shit. Like, hey, we're gonna, like, you know, it's gonna be kind of terrible all the way through, but that's mainly because of the archetype. That's mainly the archetype that's causing the issues. Up till about this point, I was like, yeah, there's not really much they could do about it. I was actually pretty okay with it up to like level 10. And then level 11 hit, and they're like focusing real hard on crits. And then level 13 hit, and it's like, what the fuck, why? And then level 14 hit, and it's like, okay, we're kind of pulling it back. Dodge is pretty alright. And then it's level 15, it's like stagger critical, a third feat focusing on critical hits. Okay. And then Iron Will, because fuck it. And then combat mobility, because fuck it. And then lightning reflexes, because fuck it. Oh, and now we have Spit Venom. So this thing that requires a fort save. This thing that requires a fort save. Oh man, we got perfect self. And that's Lann. If you build him the way that the game says that you should, he's dog shit. But like, here's the crazy thing. Despite all of that, he's still a really good turret. Simply because of his stats. Like, he's just got a really powerful stat spread. 17 attack. Or 17 attack. 17 strength. Whatever the fuck his wisdom is at this point. I've never used Wendu myself, so I don't really know how she works. Just like, it's just a weird thought for me. I never think of fighters as ranged characters. I always think of them as like frontliners. You don't. Afro, you don't. Aru is the superior ranged character in this game. There is nobody else that comes close. And I don't care what anybody else says. Aru is best Bay. Aru is best turret. Yeah. I don't think you can beat her. It's like, even if we're not talking about, you know, memeing or just fucking, like, oh, she's so hot. Like, these fucking stats are insane. These stats are insane. Like, I'm not even talking about, like, the story or the personality or anything. I'm talking strictly mechanics. It is so hard to fucking beat Aru. She gets so many skills. Perception, persuasion, stealth, trickery, mobility, knowledge, arcana. All of these are fucking useful as shit. Like, she's too fucking strong. She's too powerful. Manticore greater than Archer? Oh, is it? Is it though? Or is that just recency bias? Matt, you might just be wrong. I actually don't know. I have not looked at Manticore enough. Yeah, Lann stats, like, his stats aren't bad. Like, look at these. 17, 17, 12, 11, 22, 9. Yeah. We have a cat where they're not supposed to be. Hey, get down. 31 is still insane. Yeah, it is. I think we have like a 25 in the main character or something like that. So he's just like, stat-wise, he is just stronger than we are. I think Aru is like roughly a 69 point. I love that we just made the exact... Damn it, Afro! I wanted to make that joke. Yeah, it's really fucking hard. Yeah, well, do you know why? It's because they want you to use them over fucking just hiring a bunch of mercs. They want you to use the story party members instead of hiring a bunch of mercs. So they made the story characters really strong in just stat wise. But yeah. At that, it is time for me to get going. Because it is now 9 o'clock. Tomorrow, I'm going to be trying something new. The reason I say trying is because I don't quite have my setup done yet for building up the AT-AT. But I am working on it. I'm hoping to have it finished by tomorrow. If I do, we will be doing that. If not, I don't fucking know. Yeah, we'll be doing some Legos, and I will be talking extensively about the Phantom Menace. I just watched it again yesterday. I tried to take notes so that I could go off of my notes while we build the Lego set. I got to the I was reminded very, very quickly why I hated trying to write book reports, because I just want to enjoy the thing that I'm watching or reading. I failed so many book reports as a kid, and it's not because I didn't read the book. I loved reading the book. I just hated stopping to write shit out about the book. And the same thing happened last night. I got to the fucking pod race. Oh, I know about the Darth Jar Jar fan theory. I know about that one. I don't need to read about it. Um, yeah, I got to the pod race scene, and then my notes just kind of stopped after that, because I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna watch the movie. I had a lot of fun watching that movie. It's kind of dumb in a lot of places, and there's definitely some cringe in it, but it's actually a fun movie to watch. There's like a lot of cool stuff in it. And yeah, we'll be talking about that tomorrow. While I try to build a Lego set. If that does not happen, for whatever reason, I can't get the setup to work or whatever, we will probably be finishing up the Psyduck run. We have him sitting at the Elite Four. If we don't do that, then we will be finishing up Psyduck on Friday and doing some Weedle running afterwards. Yeah. And then Saturday is going to be Baldur's Gate. So yeah, that's the plan for this week. Starting new things tomorrow. It's exciting. But yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out and watching and all that good stuff. Appreciate y'all as always. And as always, oh wait, one more thing. I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but I'm going to mention it again now, just in case anybody wasn't here. If you are on Twitter, I made a post yesterday that I want to see if I can get to go kind of viral. It is this one. Oh, I don't have my monitor visible. So it is this one. It's a meme. It is a joke. I don't actually think that egg whites are racist, but I want to see if anybody actually bites. I want to see if people actually get mad at egg whites for being racist. and for promoting segregation, because I just think that that's really fucking funny that somebody might think that. So if you are on Twitter, if you could go to this post and like it, comment on it, retweet it, or whatever the fuck they have it as these days, I would appreciate it, because I want this to spread. I want to see just how many bees come out of this beehive that I've kicked. Speaking about liking, posting, and doing all that stuff, if you want to do that with the channel and the stream and all that good stuff, that would also be appreciated. It's not something that I mention much, but it is a thing. So yeah. Now that I've said all that, now that I have advertised my really stupid tweet, yeah, I'm heading out. So bye.